Hey, there we go.
All right.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Clay.
I am Lloyd.
This is Iron Sharpening Iron with the Kahler Boys. We're a couple days late.
It's Saturday, brother.
It
It's
is
Saturday,
Saturday.
October the 18th. They're having protest today.
Well, I was going to say, today is a national holiday celebrating mental illness.
Yeah. We'll just get right into it. I am absolutely, completely blown away. You don't think you can be. You're like, surely they can't do something that would surprise me. And then they do. And you're blown away. Donald Trump and his staff, in their wisdom, have found a way to pay the troops during this shutdown that the Democrats want and voted for. And they're suing him over paying
Trying
the
to
troops.
Stop him
They
from
want to
paying
stop the
military.
money
Yeah.
to pay our troops.
Yeah.
Just say America. You hate America without saying you actually hate America.
Right.
I mean, come on, man.
I know. Before we get into it, let's do a scripture of the day. I am going to say the reason we're late. I made a mistake. I had some shrimp fried rice at an Asian restaurant I've never eaten at before, and I spent the next 4 days flat on my back, unable to go anywhere but the restroom. And we didn't think that'd make a very good podcast. Today,
Coming live from the Porcelain Palace.
That's right. I'm better today. I'm not great, but I'm better. So let's do scripture today. I'm coming out of Romans chapter 8, and I'm going to do starting verse 12. And I want you to check this out. This is a great passage. Like there's any in here that aren't.
Right.
Isn't that ridiculous? Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh to live according to the flesh. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, these are the sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear. Listen to this. But you received the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father. The Holy Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, joint heirs with Christ, if indeed we suffer with him, and that we may also be glorified with him. And one of the reasons that let me back up. One of the aspects of theology, Christian theology, that I appreciate so much from a unique perspective is the whole concept of adoption. Because it's personal to me.
Right.
For those of y'all that know my story, I won't get too deep into it, but at 7 years old, the Kahler family adopted me, and I am absolutely convinced that Phoebe Kahler probably saved my life. And so
and little did I know that I got a best friend.
Right.
At that day.
Yeah.
It wasn't always that way. Well, we was always close. We was always close. Even in the very beginning.
Close with you. Pounding me in my face.
I was squaring you up.
Geographically close.
I was squaring you up, man.
Yeah.
So,
Lloyd used to tell me he thought it was his duty to toughen me up.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And look what we have. Combat veteran.
Lloyd's taking credit.
Look what we got. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So maybe a small part.
That adoption, the fact that we're adopted into the family of God. And then listen to this, what he says here. For as many of us are led by the Spirit of God, these are sons of God who... For you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear, right? You didn't receive the spirit of fear. He told Timothy, you did not receive the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and sound mind. But you received the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father. Now, I know you've heard this. Abba is an Aramaic word, and it is a word of endearment in the Aramaic language. You know what it means?
No.
Daddy. Jesus also told us that we had the right to call God Abba.
Daddy. Hey,
isn't that something?
That's Daddy. I mean, that's...
I remember I was in a discussion with a member of the Watchtower Bible Tract Society one time. And he said, you know the difference between you and us? I said, what's that? He says, you call God by his title. We call him by his name, Jehovah. I said, actually, I call him Daddy.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Pop? That's as personal as you can get.
I'm telling you.
I've been in an online discussion with I want to say young lady, but she's not. She's my age. And that's not young.
That's definitely not
But
young.
if I talk to her, I call her young lady.
That is the exact
now,
opposite
look,
of
she
young.
may tune in. So when I talk to her, I call her young lady, and it's out of respect.
No, it's
I don't know this.
euphemism.
I don't know this woman at all. She is from Tennessee,
Mhm.
and she was online just looking for encouragement in shaking addiction.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And so I shared a little bit of my story with her,
Mm-hmm.
and not right there where everybody could read it in the comments, but on a side message.
Yeah.
And we talked back and forth. I don't know. It was paragraphs, man.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, the things that God has done for me,
Yeah.
the things that has been hard for me, the things that I struggle with. And one of the things that she is struggling with right now, and it's classic struggle from anybody, is forgiving herself.
Lloyd, as a pastor, I cannot tell you how many times I hear
That was my biggest struggle. For years,
that.
I was not the man I should have been.
No, you were not.
And when I became saved, when I was born again,
Mm-hmm.
you look at life so different. Everything
Yeah.
so different. And I look back at those drunkard days where my children witnessed it.
Yeah.
I look back at the huge mistakes that I made that I don't want to say my kids suffered, but it could have been better.
Right. Yeah.
It could have been better. I
Yeah.
made mistakes that both financially and time-wise cost me.
Yeah.
Not like time in jail, but
No,
time-wise.
no.
And it could have been better. And
Yeah.
I struggle with forgiving myself. And she said, "How do you do that?" And I told her, I said, "Get into the Word of God."
Yes.
I said, if God can send Jesus to die for us before we're even born, to die for everything that I have ever or will ever do,
Yes.
every transgression ever
Mm-hmm.
on all humans,
Yeah.
all. He died for every one of God's creatures. Now, whether they accept it or not, that's on them.
That's right.
But it's there.
Yeah.
The gift is there.
Yeah. All you have to do is receive it.
And that's what I told her. I said, and if you can learn that, you will learn how to forgive yourself. And then I told her the story of the tapestry and how that's what makes us up. Quit getting behind the curtain and looking at the ugly knots.
Yeah.
Look at what, and then I explained to her that because she was like, kept calling herself a recovering addict. And I said, you're setting yourself up for failure. I said, you know what I am? I'm a delivered child of God, period.
That's it.
Point blank, done.
Addict isn't even in your name.
Done.
Yeah.
An addict sets me up for failure later. Well, it's not, man, I'm an addict. It's not my fault.
Right. Yeah.
It's not it's hard.
Yeah.
And addicts fail. And it's just a setback. No, I'm a delivered child of God. I won't go back to that life ever. Under any circumstance.
Right.
Period. I cannot fail. Why? Because I've got God in my corner.
Yeah.
And I'd lean on him. But if I didn't lean on God,
right,
then it'd be a different story.
But
she said, nobody's ever put it like that. And I said, well, don't give me credit. I said, this has been taught to me. And then I sent her to a couple different online preachers, and one of them was you on your Red River Cowboy Church. I said, just go listen.
Yeah.
Just go listen. Get the Word of God in you.
I've got two things that I have used. Well, more than two, but two primary things that I've used when I'm dealing with someone that talks about the fact that they couldn't forgive themselves. And the first one is I bring up Saul of Tarsus.
Yeah.
And I'll ask them, so you can't forgive yourself because what you did was so horrible. Is that right?
Yeah.
How many Christians have you murdered?
Well,
yeah. Yeah.
You get in its perspective, but dude, you have such a feeling of guilt because for so long, my feeling of guilt was my entire adult life. I thumbed my nose at the mere existence of God and didn't pass none of this to my children.
How far is the east is from the west?
And that's it. Once I got into the Word and I really got what God was about and who I was according to God, not anybody else.
That past,
then life was different. You look at it different.
That past doesn't exist. It exists as a cautionary tale.
Yes,
but it doesn't exist on your record.
It's my tapestry.
Yeah.
And God has created a beautiful.
I can't wait to see your masterpiece.
When it's done, and look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. And I know the ups and downs and the bumps and whatnot that I went through to get there.
Right.
And most of it was self-inflicted. Well, 99% of it self-inflicted. But I also can appreciate today and tomorrow and the next day.
Right.
And you can't appreciate that if you hold yourself in guilt constantly.
Right. Tony Evans one time said, have you ever noticed how big the windshield is compared to the rear view mirror?
There you go. There you go.
The other one that I use, and I use this in specific scenarios, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Every now and again, you'll have somebody that'll approach you. I just can't forgive myself. And there's almost an arrogance about it. I was such a bad dude. I was a bad dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like they're bragging, right? And in those situations, you know, let me back up. When Jesus was confronted by Nicodemus, Nick at night, Nicodemus came to him humbly. He said, Rabbi, we know you come from God. No one can do the things that you do unless God were with you. And Jesus gave him grace. You cannot enter the kingdom of heaven unless you're born again. Grace. Then he had the rich young ruler. This arrogant punk showed up.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you think I have to do to get to heaven? And so Jesus gave him law. And so when I get this arrogant, you know, I'm such a bad dude. I'm a dangerous man. I can't forgive myself. I look at them and I'll say, how arrogant is that? And that'll knock them back on their heels.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll explain it. If the God of the universe, who is the judge of all, has said that you're forgiven, but you won't allow that forgiveness to take root, you're wiser than he is.
Yeah, the
your
creator,
judgment is better than his.
The creator of the whole universe.
Yeah,
spoke it.
Yeah.
After that, everything else is okay.
And your judgment upon yourself is more authoritative than the judgment of God.
Yeah, of the Almighty, the living God. Yeah, and that puts it in perspective.
Sometimes that will suck the air out of their balloon.
Yes. You know, I read a quote, and I'm stealing this, and I don't know who I'm stealing it from because the person I'm stealing it from said it was a quote, but they didn't tell.
There you go.
And it says, one of the richest places you can be is in someone else's prayers.
Oh, there you go.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Dude. You think about your spot in my heart if I'm lifting your name to the God of the universe.
That's right.
You think about it, that's a rich spot to be.
That is.
That's pretty rich. I read that you read certain things and see certain, it just makes you smile. It makes you gather too. It makes you just sit back and gather. And I think about all the people that have prayed for me.
Yeah.
And the people that I've prayed for. Mm-hmm. And continue to.
Yeah. I saw a thing on line and I thought it was brilliant. Young girl was talking about some family member who's part of the alphabet mafia. And this family member and her were in this discussion. Family member says, I was born this way. And she smiled and said, then be born again.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
So today we are celebrating on a nationwide, we are celebrating mental illness.
Mental Illness Day.
And it is called the No Kings Rally. And this is just so funny to me, Lloyd.
Well, it's just beyond ridiculous.
Well, let's look at some of the things that they're protesting. Number one, ICE is rounding up illegal aliens, primarily criminal illegal aliens, people that have raped and murdered and set people on fire on the subways, that sort of thing, you know.
Well, and they're even getting them out of our school boards and superintendents and police forces.
Police, yes. Oh my gosh.
And they're mad about that.
Yeah.
They're mad because we paid our military. Clay, they're mad. They've been screaming free Palestine for how long? And when they brokered the peace deal, they griped about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know it.
As Lee T would say, you complained if I hung you with a new rope.
Yeah. And I don't remember him saying that. And some of the other things that they're complaining about the fact that he is cleaning up crime in some of the most dangerous cities in the United States.
Most dangerous, most corrupt.
Yeah.
And Price Fist or Pork Chop there.
Oh, God, Pork Chop.
He's calling for violence on ICE agents.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you remember that Chicago alderwoman who said it's time for the gangs to band together and rise up against ICE?
Just the corruption.
She needs to be in jail.
So many. Here's
incitement.
Speaking of jail, look here, man. Following a state audit, that found the Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools improperly received over $180 million.
Nice.
They had entire classrooms that were made up.
All right, hang on a second. $180 million.
Yeah.
We could have that 4,000 acre high fence ranch, nice houses, not brand new trucks.
Clay, we could create that
Just live off of-
construction company that I want to do and roll around and fix people's houses.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Yeah.
Non-profit construction.
And spend our off time at the ranch shooting action.
Yeah. Well, then this was in like, okay. So when the audit came up, the entire school board and directors resigned.
Yeah, they did.
Nothing fishy here, man. Nothing fishy here.
You said there were classrooms that didn't exist that
Yes.
were on paper.
Yes. Misrepresented student attendance, both from K through 12, for getting funds, ghost students and classrooms. They spent.
Sorry.
They taxpayers wasted on luxury travel, places like Hawaii, Paris, sports sponsorships, political donations.
Well, now hang on a second. Hawaii and Paris. I mean, you have to have team building exercises.
I guess so.
You know, it's important to have a cohesive team in your organization.
Clay, they spent $2 million on a single luxury trip for the school board.
Yeah, where?
$2 million. It doesn't say.
Was it an Alaskan bear hunting trip?
I don't know, but they spent $2 million on a luxury hotel trip.
Oh my goodness! And here's the
they
sad part.
hired and promoted unqualified relatives and friends
Right.
of board members in high-paying positions, including $145,000 a year for a member's daughter for a leadership role that she was not qualified for.
You know the sad
And this
part?
is, of course, in California.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of sad parts about this, but one of the sad parts to me is you had this whole school board, the board of directors, everybody, that were all in collusion on this, and not one person stopped and said, "This isn't right."
I know, because they were all getting rich. They were all $180 million.
There was
spread
not
out.
one person
Not one
that had
had
a
morals.
moral.
Mm-mm.
Maybe they did, but it wasn't enough to stop it.
And then my next little note here is the guy that was living illegally in the United States for 10 years and found the perfect place to hide from the popo.
Yeah,
At the popo
at the
shop.
popo shop. Yeah,
It's called hide in plain sight.
Yeah, this guy, based on his name, sounds like he's from Eastern Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
And this guy was a police officer. Now, Lloyd, hang on a second. I have been a member of 3 different law enforcement agencies in my career. I was a military police officer in the Army.
Right.
I was a police officer in Louisville, Kentucky. Was a federal agent out in San Diego.
Right.
For every one of those, I had to go through an extensive background check.
Well, that's because you're a white male.
You might remember this. So after AIT, I graduated AIT in Fort McClellan, Alabama. That's where they used to do military police training. And I got selected for special training. And I got shipped off to Fort Belvoir, Virginia. And I will never forget, I was at Fort Belvoir for 2 weeks before I was even allowed to call home. And I remember calling home and talking to Mom. I don't know if you remember this or not. I called home and I was talking to Mom, and she was worried because she hadn't heard from me since graduation. And I explained to her, well, they've got me doing some special training I can't talk about. She says, okay. She said, well, I'm glad you're okay. Honey, why is the FBI in town talking to your elementary school teachers?
Well, here's their extensive background. Rodney Craig, the mayor of Hanover Park, where this cop was a cop, Thursday night said that the village officials be monitoring his immigration proceeding, and if he's allowed to stay and authorized to work, he will be returning to full duty status.
Oh, no.
So you're allowed to break the law and for 10 years be here illegally,
Right.
carry a gun illegally.
Yeah.
Illegally.
Yeah, because it is illegal for an immigrant.
An immigrant,
Even a legal immigrant.
a non-U.S. citizen.
Even a legal immigrant.
Right. They're not a U.S. citizen.
Right.
And so you can't have firearm ownership.
Mm.
So they're just going to, it'd be all right, though.
Yeah,
If they
no
can,
big deal.
If they can sue the right judge, get it in front of the right judge, he'll be reinstated.
So let me ask you this, Lloyd. If this guy was able to, quote unquote, pass a background check, make it through the academy, get sworn in as a police officer, and serve on this police department all this time, that means he obviously has a driver's license. He obviously has a Social Security card.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously has police ID.
Yep. And he votes.
That's it. What stops him from voting?
Well, he's active in his community.
Yeah.
Anybody usually that are active in the community, one of the things you're active is in political.
Yeah. Yep. And here's the thing: I don't care how he votes. I don't care if he's conservative or liberal. No, you're no. I'm just.
It sees me, dude. I'm so angry about the hypocrisy and the one. Pork chop up there talking about he thinks Trump had a stroke. He said, I believe the administration is hiding a sick president from the people.
Because Biden was the picture of health and vitality.
On top of his game. Sharper than I've ever seen him.
Try to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Cream Jean-Pierre.
Yeah.
Here's another thing on this whole cop thing. All right, so all of this, he is enforcing, first of all, in order to be sworn in, he had to swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah, as an illegal migrant that's breaking the law.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
As he's swearing in, he knows he's being illegal. He's been here for over a decade.
Yeah. Probably about a year ago, we had a conversation similar to this. And you had found some article talking about in California that they were going to let illegal immigrants be cops. And I did some research on that. And I clarified that. And it said immigrants, legal immigrants.
Right.
And we had that conversation. We both came out of that thinking that this sucks, but it's better than illegal immigrants. Well, here we are.
Well, let's talk about across the pond. A lot of things that happen across the pond. We need to watch for.
Oh, I know it, man.
The fans of the Israel, I'm gonna call it the football team. We call it soccer.
Yeah.
The Israel football team, Maccabi Tel Aviv, they have been barred because they're Jews.
Yeah.
From attending this
European matches.
These matches in Birmingham.
Yeah.
The Birmingham City Council advisory group has said that because of the Muslim outrage.
I saw something, Lloyd, and I don't know if
you want to look up a problem. Look up Muslim problem in Europe right now.
I don't know if we talked about this before or not, but I saw a thing, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I want to say this. Every major city in England has a Muslim mayor now.
Oh, yeah.
Every
overrun.
Single major city.
Hey, did you hear what the Vatican did?
Yes. Put in a Muslim prayer room
I
in
sent
the Vatican.
that article to you, didn't I? Yeah. Put a dedicated Muslim prayer room. So you can go to the Vatican is supposed to be that of holy.
Supposedly, it is the cradle of Christianity.
And so they're going to put a dedicated room in to pray to a false god.
It's not new. Islam maybe, but it's not new. I remember years ago, I was still in California. That's how long ago this was. I mean, it was before the Dead Sea got sick.
Right.
I remember seeing an article about this whole sect of Catholic priests that were studying Buddhism. They were incorporating Buddhism into Catholicism. So, let's get out there a little bit. Talking about end times. You look at the book of Revelation and you wind up during the tribulation with a one world religion.
And that's what they talked about when they were talking about this Vatican, that the Pope is entering us into that full steam ahead.
So many theologians, conservative theologians, believe that the false prophet in the book of Revelation is going to be whoever the Pope is at the time that the Antichrist rises. So, and I know we've talked about this before, but the false religion in Revelation is referred to as the whore of Babylon.
Right.
The whore of Babylon, we're told in Revelation, sits on 7 hills.
Yes. And
Now,
if you look,
there are only 2 cities on the planet that sit on 7 hills.
and the Vatican is one
Toledo,
of them.
Ohio, and Vatican City. And I doubt very seriously that Toledo, Ohio is going to be the center of the whore of Babylon. So, you know.
Right. I heard the perfect analogy about transgenderism.
Okay.
If you put a potato in the microwave and press the pizza button, when you take it out, it's still a potato.
True enough. True
And
enough.
then so I thought, because we have all these fancy stuff on our phone now.
Yeah.
I can mash this button right here and hold it, and the whole screen kind of does. I'll show you. Kind of does this.
Right. And then you can talk to it.
Well, no. I can. But what it's for is I can circle that.
Gotcha.
And then AI will look
Search
that
it
up.
Yeah.
And what AI came up with that little quote is an analogy of if you put a potato, blah, 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 blah. And that's how genders work, is a transphobic meme that compares a transgender person's identity to a microwave setting.
Now,
and that's as silly as it is, though. That's pretty accurate, AI.
So the problem
but the transphobic.
The problem is the AI model that you're using. You're using Google. I actually pay for an AI model.
Well, yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, but I use it for work.
Right.
And I use Grok. Have you heard of Grok?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Grok is
they got
Elon Musk's.
Elon just put a new Grok out.
Yeah, I've got it. I get the updates.
Yeah.
I sat here one Sunday evening just out of curiosity. And I pulled up the assistant where you can have verbal communications with the assistant. And after about 30 minutes of talking to the assistant about the gospel of Jesus Christ in comparison to other religions, I asked Grok, I said, if you were a human being and you had a soul, what religion would you believe is the only religion that could save you? And she said, traditional Christianity.
Oh, yeah, over and over again. You're not the only one that's done that. I've seen that duplicated.
Isn't that cool?
A bunch of different times.
Yeah.
On people doing videos of.
Yeah. So I led Croc to Christ, everybody.
Yeah. Everybody, asking that. Did you hear about the bad news in Texas?
Possibly.
I'm not sure where this took place. It's somewhere in South Texas, but a man was mauled to death by his own dogs.
Oh gosh. It's funny you say that. I watched a video yesterday about people that were mauled by their own dogs. And it was talking about the most dangerous dog breeds.
Right.
And there are 35,000 dog attacks in the United States annually.
I don't doubt it. I figured it'd be higher than that.
And over 1,000 of them result in deaths.
Yeah.
And 70% of those are children.
Yeah.
And 40% of those are toddlers or infants.
Wow.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, don't come at me all hating. The vast majority of those are pit bull attacks.
That's interesting you say that. Pit bull were definitely high up on the list. Rottweiler was number one. According to that video.
Right. Well, according to because I kind of looked up because there was so much hate on this article. Mm-hmm. People commenting on it. Oh, y'all just hate the pit bulls. No, you got to have some sense.
I've had pit bull.
You got to have some sense in what's going on here. If I had a lab and I threw something over there and the lab ran over and got it and brought it back, would I find that surprising?
No, not at all.
Because the lab has been bred for
retrieving.
A long time, a very long time. What was a pit bull bred for? What are they used for? A lot.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they do get a bad reputation because they're bred to fight.
Yeah.
And they're bred to be vicious. They are bred to be watchdogs. You don't want them to be lap dogs generally.
Right.
That doesn't mean every single pit bull out there is a vicious animal.
No, not at all. But they all have the capacity. The Chihuahuas.
They all have that in it. It's but when a Chihuahua clamps down on you, his mouth's that big.
I know. No, I'm just saying they still have the same.
Not the same.
Lee T told us something one time. Any critter that has teeth can bite you.
Absolutely, man.
And that's what it boils down to. Donald Trump has done something, made an announcement today that has actually shocked me, and I don't know how I feel about it. Do you remember George Santos? George Santos, I want to say, was New Jersey. He was a Republican congressman, and it turned out that he had lied about his background in order to get the position.
Yeah.
He lied to Congress.
Yes.
He's just a despicable human being. The Republicans, it's funny that when the Democrats have a thug or an idiot or a criminal, they surround him. Like that Jay Jones fella.
Yeah.
When the Republicans
or Bowman taking the signs off.
Yeah. When the Republicans find a thorn in their midst, they get rid of it immediately, and they immediately voted to have him removed from office, which, by the way, cost us a seat because the Democrat governor of New Jersey replaced him with a Democrat, and that we were okay with that. It sucks, but
we're going to get that guy out of there.
Yeah, and then he wound up getting prosecuted and got sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Good.
Donald Trump announced today that he's commuting his sentence.
Okay.
And I don't know how I feel about
that. I don't either. I'd have to study it a little more. I don't either. I hope they bring charges against former President Barack Hussein Obama. And I also hope that he doesn't do a day in jail.
Yeah.
Not one day.
Right.
Not 1 minute. I hope he doesn't get a perp.
Now, James Comey, I hope he does.
I hope he does. That's different.
Yeah, Jim Clapper.
I hope that Obama receives all the presidential pardon that he deserves. I mean it. You have to have it.
I agree.
You have to. Even with
you have to have presidential immunity.
Right. And you can't give it. You can't say, "Well, I don't like that president, so let's lock him up."
Right.
He gets no immunity, and no pardon, and no nothing.
No, they already tried that.
And right, and it wasn't right then, and it wouldn't be right now. I mean, Donald Trump didn't go after Hillary because she was a wife of a former president.
Yeah.
And I do, but it needs to be exposed and laid on the table, and everybody below that presidential figure needs to do jail time.
Donald Trump is a gentleman.
Yes.
And that's the difference. He will, it's funny in that debate when Hillary Clinton said something along the lines of, "Can you imagine if this man were our president?" He looked at her and said, "You'd be in jail."
Yeah.
Mic drop,
That's awesome.
But he didn't.
But he didn't
follow through.
That's right.
Yeah. Because it would have been an inappropriate thing to do in his mind.
Let me tell you about inappropriate. It's got nothing to do with nothing.
All right.
But it's a good segue right there.
All right.
I was helping my bride get a shower
the
other day. And I had to sneeze. And so I stopped. And I'm like, you got that.
Yeah. That momentary pause.
And it just petered out. Just wasn't coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. And so finished with the shower. Probably about 10 minutes later, we was in the living room. It was just about done anyway. About 10 minutes later, we was in the living room. And I was getting all dressed and, dried and powdered and pampered and whatnot. And go here it come, and I turned my head and I sneezed, and then I sneezed again. And I said, "Oh, he must have had a buddy in there." She said, my wife said, "That was his girlfriend." I said, "Oh, well, he was obviously waiting on her to get ready." I said, "That fool was hanging around the door for a long time."
Yeah, just waiting.
She got on to me about that.
Yeah, I bet she did. I bet she did, man.
She watches a lot of, she loves The Price is Right.
Yeah.
And like other game shows. And I've got a question.
Okay.
I inadvertently end up watching some of these too.
Sure. Oh, man, you remember when we were kids and you either faked sick or you were sick and you spent the whole day watching Prices Right?
Oh, yeah, all the game shows. And, man, I have noticed something. That the women on these game shows, not just The Price is Right, all of them, all the game shows, all the women, none of the men. It's 100% down the board. When the women win, or when they're being attacked by a wolf, you can't tell the difference in the screen.
Right?
Their excitement level is the same. If they were behind closed doors, being eaten alive,
you would call 911 if you heard
by
that
a wolf, or behind this closed door winning a new car. You couldn't tell the difference.
That's funny.
I said, do you hear that? And she's like, what? I said, when this is over, we're going to watch a horror movie or something and listen to the women scream. And then you tell me the difference. She
Right.
was laughing. She said, I can't explain it.
That's funny. It's always been that way.
I know.
That's funny. Oh, man.
DoorDasher in Sweetwater, Texas makes
Okay.
an unusual delivery. Somebody ordered duct tape, a tarp, zip ties, and a hatchet from Walmart to be delivered.
Okay.
The DoorDasher said that's kind of funny or suspicious.
Yeah.
So he called the police. Well, the police show up to the house, and sure enough, man, the guy that placed the order, he's got a hostage.
Oh, my gosh.
And he ordered his hostage supplies from DoorDash.
That's
Get
hilarious.
turned in. It's funnier than this, though. The hostage ended up having warrants for his arrest. So the cops freed him and then locked him up.
Oh, man.
You just can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't.
You just can't make this stuff
You can't.
up, man.
I ever tell you about, when I was getting out of the Army and I applied for Wichita Falls PD before I got on with Louisville? And I came down here. I was on leave. I was on terminal leave. When you're in the military, any leave time that you have accumulated, when you're getting out of the Army, you can take like 30 or 45 days off and you're still getting paid. It's kind of nice. And it's made that way intentionally so that help you find your next job.
Right, let you
your paycheck
transition
comes to an
out
end.
of the military.
And of course, you have to have the leave time in order for that to happen. If you're one of those guys that burns through your leave time every weekend, well, you're just out of luck.
Right.
But I was not one of those guys. And so anyhow, I came down here. And by the way, back then, that was 1992. Back then, the standards for getting on a police department were ridiculous. And rightly so. It should be. And so I come down here and, we do the physical and
we check on her.
All right. We do this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, we got to change cameras.
Yep. She's not in bed.
She's just coming out of the bathroom and migrating to the living room. Well, anyway.
So anyhow, go through the psychological testing, go through the physical testing and all of that. And it comes down to we are in this gigantic room. Lloyd, I'm not kidding. There were 300 applicants for like 10 jobs. And we're all in this room and we're taking the written exam. And as I'm taking the written exam, all of a sudden, these 5 detectives come walking in, walk past my table, off to the other side of me, snatch this dude up, bend him over the table, and handcuff him and haul him out of there. He had active warrants. He was applying to the police department with active warrants. Now, the funny thing is, had he have been an illegal alien, I guess he'd have got been okay.
I gave a friend of mine a ride one time.
Yeah.
He was work construction with me, and he was one of my helpers.
Mm-hmm.
And he really needed to get over to the DMV and get his driver's license renewed. And he's like, can you give me a ride? And I said, sure. And so I took him, and I'm waiting outside, waiting. Finally, I go in the building, and I'm looking all around.
Nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. And I walked up, lady said, can I help you? I said, yeah. I said, I brought a fella in here to get his driver's license. Same thing, man. He had a active warrant for his arrest.
Yeah.
When he laid his credentials and information up there,
them state troopers came out.
That lady said, yeah, hold on just a minute. Walked on back, and they just come out and took him right out the back door. I never saw him.
Yeah.
He was just gone. I said, well, where's he at? She's like, oh, he's probably in county jail by now. All righty then. So word of the wise, make sure you have active warrants before you go.
Yeah.
And
applying for the PD or trying to get your license renewed. Oh, it's amazing. Did you hear about one last thing I want to bring up, and then your bride's up and
my bride's up,
my belly's yelling. So, but one last thing: the Hamas terrorist that was arrested in Louisiana.
I saw that.
This guy participated in October 7th. He was a Hamas fighter who crossed the border from Palestine to Israel on October 7th and participated in the murder, rape, setting on fire, torture of Israeli citizens,
And then
and he
living
was
over here.
just arrested in Louisiana. Here's my question, Lloyd: how many more?
How many more? Yeah, because the cop that got caught,
Mhm.
the superintendent that got caught.
Yeah. How
Let me
many
tell you
more?
something. Let me tell you something, man. If you set a rat trap and you catch a rat the first day,
Yeah, you better.
you got more rats.
Yeah, you better.
You got
set
a lot more
traps.
rats.
Yeah,
You got a lot more rats. You
Yeah.
need to be looking everywhere
true
and
enough.
set a lot more traps. You didn't. We didn't all of a sudden catch the only cop,
Nope.
the only public official, more or less, a superintendent of
Or
school.
the only Hamas terrorist.
$305,000 a year they were paying in taxpayer dollars.
And again, how did he pass the background check?
Man, I've talked to Donnie extensively about that. And me and you've talked about it. There's a whole form you fill out.
Yeah,
And you have to fill it out.
it's called 99.
Yeah. And you have to fill it out on each somebody that's not a United States citizen.
So now we one of the things we do in my office is we do fingerprints and 99s
Right.
for other companies.
Yeah.
And one of the last statements is, and you have to read it and agree to it. I understand that the giving false statements or using false documents in completion of this form constitutes perjury under federal law.
Right. It's a federal crime.
So
Nobody's gone to jail.
both of those guys need to be prosecuted.
Nobody's going to jail for nothing. I mean, the person that issued no name given on a driver's license needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
The person that issued the guy that the truck driver that killed the people in Florida, they didn't have no testing.
Right.
They need to go to jail. And this is widespread. This isn't a one and done thing.
Right.
They busted the people in New Jersey. There was a whole DMV in New Jersey that were doing $200 under the table deals.
Yeah.
All you had to do is go in there and pay $200. They showed you the answers.
Right.
Walked you through the whole process. And I mean, nobody is being prosecuted yet, I guess.
Right.
I guess. We keep saying that.
Just amazing.
Keep saying that. But let 4 young boys in Virginia complain that there's a transgender changing clothes in the bathroom, and the female transgender that's in the bathroom not only is changing the clothes and freaking these little 11 and 12-year-olds out, but she's taking video in the bathroom, which is very illegal too.
Right.
And they expelled those boys.
Right. Well,
the girls that had to sign a mental health waiver.
Right.
Because they didn't want a boy exposing himself in their locker room.
Right.
So they have the mental disability.
Well, in that county in Virginia, where the little boy who wore girls' clothing, I say little boy, teenager who wore girls' clothing, went into the girls' bathroom and raped a little girl.
Yeah, they
in
said
the bathroom,
never
and they
happened
moved him to another school
to let him
And
do it
when
again.
When he did it again, and when Dad found out and addressed the school board, he got arrested.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's the world we live in. I'm tell you what, man.
But it's changing.
I know
to a degree.
It is changed. It's changed.
For how long?
But it's so hard to institute those changes because we were driven to it with such force the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years. We've been just hammered to it.
Well, and it's been out there for 20, 30 years.
But it's been shoved in your face, and you couldn't even, if you spoke about it against it, you were canceled, or your accounts were canceled.
Yeah.
You get on one of the social media accounts and you say something about the shot, about a vaccine, about the COVID, about any of those
illegal immigration,
any of those topics, and the next thing you know, you're banned.
Yeah,
you don't have an account no more. We were censored, and it just shoved down our throat. But you know what? It won't ever do. It won't ever extinguish my light.
No, sir.
My light shines bright every single day. And I walked in the restaurant today. You know what the first thing they told me?
What's that?
We're out of Jesus's. I had about 15 left in the bag, and I skipped the whole bag.
There you go.
It was funny. The police was in there eating breakfast, and I rolled that bag up. I did that outside, and I walked in, and I looked right at them cops, and I did this until they looked back at me. And then I turned my back. I said, "Here, come here. Don't let them see it." Just like that loud, you know. They were laughing. But, they were out of Jesus. They hand them out all the time. I had a pretty good stash up there. Yeah. They've been handing them out. So this morning I'm going to order me some more.
I've got some. You can take some with you.
All right. Because I've got none.
All right.
None.
All right, y'all.
So you guys don't let your light be extinguished either, no matter what goes on in this crazy world. Know who you are, but more importantly, whose you are.
That's it. That's
more importantly. whose you are.
And when you understand whose you are, that allows you to take time.
To be kind.
There you
That's
go.
it, man. And it's not hard, and it's absolutely addictive. And you start getting people like the people at the diner. When I walked in, they knew, man, I was the Jesus guy.
That's right.
I'm loving
Isn't
it.
that awesome?
I've been known for a lot of things, Clay.
Yeah.
This is the best.
Yeah, no
so
doubt.
far.
No doubt.
So far.
God
But
bless
anyway,
you guys. Lord
yeah.
willing, we will see you next Thursday.
This coming Thursday, because
Yeah.
today's Saturday.
Yeah, provided I don't have shrimp fried rice on Tuesday.
Well, let's just not put that on the menu.
It's not. I will never eat in that establishment ever again. I don't care.
I mean, I won't either.
No.
I won't either,
absolutely
man.
not.
That's not on the to-go place.
No. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of
Hit
the
all the
weekend
buttons,
and next
like,
week. Yep.
comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button, and you can get a bell.
Love you guys. We'll talk to y'all next time. By the way, hopefully next week I'll have the button pushed so you don't have to watch me come up here and push the button.